Hey, everybody. That was a
Hey,
lot.
everybody.
That was a lot nicer, right? Hey, everybody. So, anyways, hey, welcome to the Muni Misfits podcast. I'm sitting here with my best buddies. You guys laugh at that?
Only.
My only friends, Greg and Matt. Together we're the Misfits. We are the head golf professionals at Osgood, Rose Creek, and Edgewood, El Zegel, and Prairie Wood, where we talk Fargo golf and everything that's happening, golf and golf adjacent topics. That
That's
surmise
wonderful.
everything, right? Um, First off, we're going to talk about what's happening at our golf courses. Then we're going to talk about a really fun time that's happening right now in Fargo Golf. Fall passes are almost on sale, September 1. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to talk about our favorite eats on the golf course, along with potentially something that could make golf more exciting. Right?
Definitely.
Is that what we agreed upon before we started the podcast?
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways, let's talk about what's happening at our facilities. Who wants to go first?
GMAC.
The survey says Greg. Greg,
Me?
you go first. What's happening at Edgewood?
Tori, is this going to be on air or is this going to be on the web today?
Right.
So last night we had glow golf at El Seco, which is always a fun time.
How did it go?
Went great.
How was the weather?
Hot. And then we have another one on September 7th.
But hey, you're full on glow golf.
Yeah,
We-
glow golf is
For those of you that didn't get the episode 49, we
that's right.
talked about how it was already full, episode 49.
Yes.
Right. And now you're continued to be full.
Yeah, so El Zegel continues to do things, and hours are constricting slightly just because of sunlight. Edgewood leagues still going. Some corporate events still going. Driving range T is moving forward. We hope to be if
Status update. What
we
do we
don't
got?
get any rain. They're finishing up the groundwork this week. Going to put sod in, and then next week they should put the turf on. And we're actually kind of hoping later next week we get on it.
Yeah, right over
I
there.
just lay down here.
Jeez.
Can we put together, go back to El Zegel for a second. We should do like an exhibition team, with Team Munis. So you and I
Matt,
and Chris and Tori.
Matt, we did it last night. Don't you remember?
How did it go?
Oh, that's right. We did.
You still had plastic on your clubs, although this time you couldn't see it.
I should make sure Ping or Titleist sends me plastic and neon. Gotta stand out there.
Good idea. Good idea.
I'm sure they're working on it. So, update on the driving range, though. Where are we at?
Yes.
We've
so
got concrete.
Concrete's poured. Concrete's cut. They are finishing up with some dirt work and going to sod it maybe today.
Okay.
And then next week they'll put the turf on, and we're hoping to be actually on it later next week. So we'll see.
And I heard that if Tori actually practices, she gets to hit the first tee shot off of the new turf. That's what I heard.
So we got to come up with plan B.
Yeah. So exactly. We got to figure out who is going to actually hit that ceremonial
Because
first tee shot.
promises don't mean very much to Tori Benders.
That's true, right, Tori? No practice for Tori.
Not since Friday, which was not that long.
Okay. We got to figure something
It's
out
too
there.
hot for me.
So driving range tee though, we're going to be hitting balls
Yes,
off of that
that's the
turf tee
goal.
line,
We'll-
and like last time you said, we're putting that straight into play.
Yes, and we'll probably be on it. We'll see how it goes, but there's a reasonable chance we'll just stay on it
Cool.
because he's going to seed and try to flatten out and shape and sod and do some stuff to our range tee. So
All right.
yeah, it looks really. I mean, it's cement right
Yeah.
now, but yeah,
exciting,
we're no, it is. It'll be a good update.
I know I was talking a little bit to Jason Spitzner about because he had kind of an interesting design. I don't know if that was he was saying that the grass is going to come up like almost straight to the
That was the goal.
okay,
I'm not sure that that's going to 100% happen. Yes.
because he wanted to make it kind of like a stealthy
Yes.
turf tee, like artificial tee line,
Correct.
which I thought was really interesting.
It is, and it looks really cool if you ever at a place that does that.
Yeah.
So yes, things
Cool.
are good. Things are busy. Keep moving forward.
All right.
in August.
Creek's up.
Same
up.
old, same old. Yeah, it's been steady. Golf course is in great shape. We're going to be aerifying our greens on Monday, the 28th. They'll be using kind of a smaller time, and they anticipate getting everything done in one day. So
Are you closed
we'll
that
probably
day?
be closed until roughly about 4:30, I think, on Monday. So that's kind of what they're talking now. We do have a fundraiser on Wednesday, so it's a big event on that day. Other than that, leagues have been continuing to stay steady, and play's been great. As Greg had said, we continue to adjust time as we have less daylight every day.
So aerification, you guys are doing greens. Are you doing
Just
tees
greens.
too?
No, just greens.
Just greens. So Osgood, we've got it is that time of year, right? So we got aerification schedules coming up here. We have aerification on Tuesday, and that's going to be the greens, and then on Wednesday we actually end up doing the tees. The tees are that's less disruptive. There's not. We'll have the golf course will be open there. We have it blocked off until 2 o'clock, but it'll probably get that's kind of assuming there's no fiascos. That's just sometimes you break some tines, sometimes you have some equipment malfunction. So we have it blocked till 2 o'clock, but that uh, airification goes much smoother, pun intended. It'll probably get moved up. So
And it is like airification is a process to begin with, but the morning of airifications is a key morning. So if we have a morning like we did this morning where it's foggy and it's wet, ain't happening.
wet is bad.
Wet is bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that was another thing we sent out in an email to a lot of our league players was, everyone gets so bummed about airification that why do we do airification when our courses and our greens are the best? We actually got to play a few holes on Tuesday, and greens at Osgood are super. They are so good. I mean, there is no bounce, no wiggle, and then you start, Ryan's like, yeah, gosh, it's a shame that we got to airify, and it's like, why do we have to airify when it's perfect? Well, it's because the golf course accepts the airification the best, and going into the fall, that's how the golf course gets to rebound much quicker when the greens are in prime condition. If you waited until the end of the year and we've got cooler conditions, we don't have as much sunlight, the greens don't bounce back as fast. So hopefully the general public and people that don't really understand they can accept that information a little bit easier, knowing that the greens will bounce back, the course conditions will bounce back much quicker if we do it at the right time. So timing is everything, right? So, do you guys have airification schedule at all?
So, Jason Spitzer, our superintendent, he does a little different way to do that. He's not airifying. Well, he's kind of he has little ninja tines. They're just
Yeah.
little tines that go about this far down that he throws seed in. Our composition of our greens, he's really happy with, so we don't need to change them.
Sure.
In fact, a lot of times there's too much sand in it, so the water always just goes straight through them and doesn't hold any. So we actually kind of have the opposite effect. But he will get in there and he's going to seed them as well. So it'll be just kind of a split in it or a slit in it. It won't be a hole. And usually the day after they're fine again.
Sure.
So with Jason, I don't know if we'll airify again.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, I think that the trend right now is definitely to go away from cores, like pulling cores.
Yep.
Because I mean, you don't unless you're really struggling in soil structure and where your root zone really needs that deep aerification and pulling a core. I see fewer superintendents going that old school traditional method. I see a lot of guys going with the solid tine, what do they call that? The
Slit.
Yeah.
Knife.
Knifing. Yeah. So we see a lot more of that. And as far as like playability wise, man, you fill those things up with sand and seed and brush them in. And yeah, within a couple of days, it's like nothing ever happened. So, yeah,
Technology.
it's
getting
crazy,
better.
isn't it? So, anything else happening at courses, guys?
More holes in one.
Just people are playing golf.
2 more this week.
We had one toward the end of last week.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. I've got none. So, guys, you can spare me the conversation. You can spare
No,
me
wait a
the
minute.
bit.
Wait.
I've got
You haven't had any at your golf course?
yeah.
Or
We
you personally
me
have none?
personally, I'll say it aloud. I've never had a hole in one. All right, that's going to change though. This Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah.
I'm actually playing in the section championship. I will be happy to report that I will have a hole in one when I come back.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Video
right.
evidence. I want video evidence.
Video or it
I've
didn't
played the
happen.
par threes there. Ooh.
Yeah, they're nasty. So I'm more concerned about the lag putting part at the Wilderness. Those greens are huge.
Well, you start knocking in some aces, you don't have to worry about that.
That's true. Yeah.
Hit it closer.
Hit it closer. So we're gonna have a little topic today about we're gonna talk about best food on and off the golf course as it relates to your round of golf though. Do you guys, first off, do you guys eat while you're on the course? Like, is that part of, like, if you're playing 18 holes and let's say competitive round, okay? Like it means something to you. First, you have to play golf. I get that. All right. But when you're playing a competitive round, is food part of the routine? Are you incorporating food some way, somehow? Is that
Well, yes,
okay?
because I can't go more than 20 minutes without putting something in my mouth.
Okay.
It's not purposeful though. It's like
Do you
can't-
play better with food?
I've never not had food. So,
Mm.
but it's not good food. It's not purposeful food. It's not a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a energy bar or things like that.
So what are
Snickers, peanut M&Ms.
See, I think Snickers is
Monster cookies. Monster cookies. I'll
Yep.
search out Monster cookies.
good. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a big water drinker, which is
That's bad.
that's bad.
Mhm.
So it's always a diet something.
You and Craig are the perfect pair.
Cartners.
Two
Cartner.
diets and a couple Snickers, which makes no sense.
What
But
are you having, Matt? After I
like-
have 2 diets and a couple Snickers.
that's well, I was going to split that with you, but yes, that's exactly right.
See, I think you would be more of a purposeful food.
Well, I
I
am
mean, you're timing it before you play,
No,
and then you're timing
it's
it in
not
the
a
middle of the round, and then
slow
you're
release protein. No.
timing it at the end.
No, but I would say like if a course has a monster cookie, I'm all in on that. I'm all in on that. If I'm actually planning my round, like yeah, I'll absolutely have a protein bar out on the golf course. And I really like the Cliff peanut butter crunch. The peanut butter crunch bars are like some of my favorite to throw in a golf bag. I hear a lot of the tour players that's their go-to is a Uncrustable. Amy Olsen was saying that actually when we
Yep.
had her on the podcast. The unbeatable is what they call it. It's not the Uncrustable. It's an unbeatable.
The best thing that's happened to me is protein balls,
Bandon.
which is where I got them. Which is where I was introduced them.
Where can you
And
get protein balls?
We have them. We have
For
them.
real?
Yes. Not we. Edgewood Tavern has protein balls.
Do they serve them in a sleeve, like a golf ball
No,
sleeve?
they put them in a cup. They
Do
should
they
be
make
in a
'em?
sleeve. Yes, they're good. Mhm.
I'm gonna have to go over there and try those. Have you ever had those before?
Buff Bites used to make them.
Buff Bites.
Or I don't know if they're still around.
Where was Buff Bites?
It was like a local business.
Here?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yes, I will. The first thing I will search out is if there's protein balls, and some of them are better than others. And then I'm right to a 7 candy bars and 16 sodas.
I think on our last trip from Bannon, I think I purchased like 3 or 4 of those sleeves to bring home. I think I found one of them like many, many weeks afterwards. They're not so good then.
One of
They're
the
so good.
one of the
though.
best things that ever happened to us there that was incredibly funny is we purchased those in the morning, and one of our guys put it in his golf bag outside. And animals are really good at adjusting to people.
Opportunistic.
Yes. So we're sitting there and we're watching it, and the guy that was in the restaurant goes, "You better pull those out of there." Like, why? Just watch. So very strategically, 2 big, I don't know if they're black crows, but
Crows.
they are.
Yeah.
One of them lands on the top of a head cover, and he's got his perch. He's looking around, and then the other one does a full dive to the ball bag. Now the bag's zipped up. Okay.
Crows are so smart.
Kind of wanders around, and all of a sudden he starts pecking at it, and pretty soon he's got the zipper in his craw, and he unzips the bag, and he proceeds to go in the bag and pull out the protein balls. It
Unbelievable.
was the best thing I've ever seen.
I mean, crows are super smart.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
So
Golfers are not.
$20 later. How much are those protein balls at Bandit? Actually, they're
Not
not
very
bad.
much.
They're not bad.
No,
Yeah.
it's like-
we're talking
again,
Bandit.
again, it's
Talking
like
big.
going to Augusta. It's
Yummy.
$5.
Yeah, so good. Okay. So you guys are basically
Junkies.
on the John Daly
kinda-
diet out on the golf course.
I think
is what you guys are doing.
I think it depends a little bit too, though, for me, like what the circumstances are. Like if I'm out playing somewhere around this area, and I don't typically love to ride, but I'm going to ride every once in a while. So I mean, if I'm riding, that makes a little difference too, because I'm probably not burning as many calories or getting maybe as much if I was out like playing a 5-hour round on a bigger
You're checking
course.
your calorie count as you're
No,
on the
Where's
golf
the
course?
where's the
What
where's the
the-
BS meter right
I can
now?
just feel
I'm
I'm
checking my
starting to get beat
pedometer.
down.
I haven't had enough steps. I can't have
No.
that Snickers.
if I'm walking though, I'm probably getting a little bit hangry. And so
Snickers, if you're listening right now.
no. I'm probably going to grab like a sandwich or something.
Okay.
I mean, either a sandwich. Honestly, I'm going to probably get something unhealthy like a brat because I'm kind of like,
Okay, now we start talking about glizzy,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
Tory
Glizzy.
vendors.
glizzy.
See? Told you.
I love
Okay.
hot dogs. Not brats. Hot dogs.
So the hot dog at the turn is like going off like crazy in golf culture, let's say right now, right? Like there's so many everyone's talking about, one snap, everyone knows the rules, glizzy at the turn, that sort of thing, right? The hot dog is such a underrated thing at the turn because like you can eat that with the glove hand and be fine, right? I
Well,
mean,
just stick it in your cup holder. It'll be
but like that could be one of my favorite things to have on the golf course, especially at the turn, like during play, because that's like 3 or 4 bites down, right? And it's got the bun is not going to get greasy on your fingers because that's a big part about it. You can't do a burger at the turn. Sandwich is a little bit more involved.
How about pre-round?
Okay, pre-round,
Yeah, if
like
you're
having a
yeah, if you're at a place or gonna drive by a place on your way to golf in the morning, sausage McMuffin with egg.
that's a tough one to beat. I mean, that's Mickey D's breakfast beforehand.
Yeah,
tough to beat.
or a breakfast sandwich on site.
Breakfast burrito is really good, but that can hit you at a different time too. I mean, you're playing with fire
And
there,
if you're playing
quite
at,
literally.
if you're playing at 1:00, are you having lunch beforehand? Should. I mean, again, all these are like
Yeah.
we should have a nutritionist or somebody tell us all the things we're doing wrong here.
Now we just talking what we're doing. That was proper,
Well, that's true.
right?
So do the opposite and you'll be in good shape.
Like, cause I'm running like last minute if we're going to play anywhere, and I'm getting a quick burger and fries through McDonald's drive-through, and
Yeah, I generally don't eat before I play though. I'm not a guy to eat before I play. I eat during and then definitely after I play. Are you the sausage egg McMuffin?
Yeah.
That's your go-to?
Yeah. Any kind if they have
Coffee? I'm totally coffee before I play. I will.
I'm not a coffee drinker.
Really?
So, no, it's 17 diet somethings.
So, okay. But you have to have,
I need caffeine.
yeah, that's what I mean. You need a little stimulant, a little like pick you
It
up.
probably doesn't do me any good. I mean, again, right? It's not good for you to do that. Just-
Really?
No.
I think caffeine is like performance enhancing.
Hasn't been for me.
What are you caffeine?
well, without a doubt, but I don't know if that's performance enhancing.
Why wouldn't it
I don't
be?
see like a lot of guys walking around like a Mountain Dew in their hand on tour, but it's just,
Well, no, I think all those guys are having some.
Well, they're doing it. Well, again, right? Is it different in if it's in a
Yeah,
shake or a whatever that they're drinking through the round? Is that a different form. Is that a natural caffeine or is that a natural stimulant or I don't
Man,
know.
I think a lot of those guys are having coffee. I think a lot of those. I'm guessing,
Well, I mean,
allegedly
guy who's bet the most on golf in the history of the world
has his own coffee company.
drinks 17,000 gallons of coffee a day.
Right.
You
So,
guys, so if we go back to like kind of that mid-round deal, I never have a hot dog at home. I never have a hot dog anywhere unless on a golf course. Is that weird?
What about
Yes.
Costco?
Huh?
Costco.
yeah.
No, I
Well, we
Every-
can't, the turn, there's no turn at Costco. We can't
Yes,
get
there
down with
is.
It
nine.
actually is. there.
Although we do have people that drive our carts to Costco apparently, but we don't recommend that.
I wouldn't even think about having a hot dog at home.
Well, it's quick,
What?
it's easy, it's
No, I never do. I would never think. The only other time I think I'd have a hot dog, unless it was on a golf course, would be probably if I was at a youth sporting event. And that was the only thing they had for sale at that concession.
Are you throwing a brat on the grill though?
A brat, I would,
Okay, so you're saying hot dogs is like
Correct.
kid food.
but I would
I'm
have
not
a,
doing
but I
that.
would have a hot dog. Well, I don't know if it's kid food. I'm just not something I crave outside of being on a golf course and just because it's quick, easy, and
But I'm not talking like Oscar Mayer wiener hot
No,
dog.
I get
I'm
it.
talking about like quarter pound
Right,
hot dog
right,
deal,
right,
right? Like,
almost the kind that's difficult to distinguish if it's a hot dog or a brat.
there
It's
you
like,
go. Yep.
Yeah.
So you're still not doing that at home?
No.
Wow.
No, I don't know why. I'm not trying to be a hot dog schnob, but just just don't crave it. Just like, but you know what? We had a couple years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago, whatever it was, we had a vendor upstairs. It seemed like their huge thing was macaroni and cheese. I'm like, I've never ordered macaroni and cheese at a restaurant before.
I haven't either.
Well, you're thinking craft dinner,
I had a
right?
lot of it when I had kids growing up, and I was
Yeah,
there
that's
in
like
the
the-
off season.
And you were
That was an
cooking?
easy one for me to cook.
Yeah, that's
The
like
only thing I
the
can cook.
radioactive cheese, the orange cheese kind of macaroni. This is like legit 3 different cheeses. You got Parmesan, you got a crust on top.
Yeah.
That's like grown up mac and cheese. You would never order that?
No.
Wow.
Another, when you think of, can you think of like any mid-round, whether it would be a sandwich or something like that you guys ever got that kind of stood on out? This is weird. Like when we were playing Erin Hills, I remember going there to a halfway house, and I don't know why I thought this was such a huge deal, but it was like the first experience I think I remember having anyway with a pretzel bun. And this thing was like
Mm.
loaded with meat, and it was a pretzel bun. And I was like,
Go on.
holy smokes, is this a sandwich? Oh
Pretzel
my
bun
gosh.
elevates everything.
I almost stopped playing golf and was just going to hang out at this little halfway house and
Was
just
it warm?
eat.
Was it a warm pretzel bun?
That I don't remember if that was a warm pretzel. I should remember
You
that,
ate it
but
so fast you couldn't.
it
even
went
remember.
down pretty quick.
So if any of our 3 listeners are nutritionists, what should we be eating?
That's a good point.
Protein, lots of protein,
You come back,
carbs.
anything but what you guys had.
Yeah.
That's right.
God, that sounds good.
It
Though.
I mean,
was-
how about
it
the
was
best
great.
best halfway houses?
Yeah. Who's got the yeah. Where have you gone that has the best turn
The
station?
best experience was at Mirabelle, Scottsdale, Arizona.
Is that the taco place? They have taco.
Tacos on 9.
See, okay. I brought this
But
up.
even before that, the halfway house that has got, it's got world famous jerky, and it's got grapple, and it's got it's got everything. It was
Why-
unbelievably good.
Why aren't tacos a thing out on the golf course at more places? Like when you have, I would imagine being able to serve up tacos would be every bit probably easier than serving a brat.
But they're
At a
messy.
turn-
They're messy. Unless
Yeah,
you
I
have a
would
soft
put-
shell that's wrapped.
Yeah,
I
I think a soft shell, man. I tell you what, I can devour a soft shell taco from like the taco shop. I get like that. And it's not, I'm pretty clean afterwards.
Yeah, because you could
We have
like
a
you
soft
could do
shell.
three street tacos. That's a total of 6 bites. You could do 2. You could do a taco in 2 bites.
They had a chef on the 9th tee.
So I remember seeing the picture of you guys like
Wow.
Murph and like that makes so much sense.
Didn't they have like 2 different places though? Didn't
Yeah.
they have like maybe tacos at one place, and I thought the guy was grilling something else at another. And
God, it
maybe it
sounds,
was just the one. I can't.
sounds
remember.
so good.
That's the only one I mean, the halfway houses were phenomenal. You could
Mm.
you could
Beef
get
jerky was like, oh,
Oh.
jeez. Not to mention, I mean, it's just like then you got fruits and everything there. It's just like you got to like sign out somewhere. No, just help yourself. Oh my golf bags.
Such a Muni way of doing things.
Yes, it is.
So, all right. Well, did we cover our food section?
I'm hungry right
I
now.
know,
how
I am
about
too.
like post round? What's
Okay.
the best meal you had post round on site? Not like going off site. I mean,
Hard. A lot of times, though, golfers aren't. Well, I guess they are. We don't stay on site a lot of times unless we're else somewhere
Abandoned
else.
meatloaf.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm a huge. That's like one thing. Whenever we go there, that's one thing I always look forward to is the meatloaf.
Most memorable post round thing though for me, that meatloaf would be right up there. There's a couple other things at Bandon too that are really, really good. What do they call that? With the beef and
Hamburger.
and no.
Final answer.
No. It's a lot of guys grab it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the most memorable thing I think post round.
only to go on is beef. That's all you gave us.
Yeah, it's like beef and peas and carrots and
oh, shepherd's pie.
yes, shepherd's pie.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
pot
Yeah.
pie.
Yes, pot pie. Shepherd's pie sounds better.
It does
though.
actually.
Yeah.
Guinness shepherd's pie. Yeah.
But so not a meal, but a dessert.
Key lime pie.
yeah, key lime pie is solid.
Yes, Carolina, the Ryder Cup Lounge. I don't know if they even have the Ryder Cup Lounge anymore, but at the Carolina Hotel there.
You guys were there and didn't invite me, but yes, I saw pictures of the key lime pie that was
Yeah.
that
What?
tall.
They give you a step ladder to get up to the top
Yeah.
of it and begin. Yeah, it's no, I
it's-
kid you not.
It
It's-
is.
At the Carolina Hotel.
Yeah.
Mm.
If I was like, if you look at Tori right now, you just have to move my key lime pie. Like,
18 inches.
yeah.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
yes. It was.
Do they Uber Eats?
I
How
love
long would that take?
I
to
love
get
key lime pie, but if I was to devour that thing, I would no longer eat key lime pie. That was
Oh my
so
gosh,
much. It was.
I had the original key lime pie, Kermit's key lime pie in Key West. That's the original.
Did not know that.
Yeah, but this sounds like they probably perfected it. That sounds amazing. Any other desserts? You guys
Well,
are
yeah.
kind of dessert guys.
Well, Greg
aren't
kind of
you?
hit one of them. The two things I like too, as far as mid round, which kind of local. I don't know if they still do it because I haven't played there now in the last couple of years anyway. But anytime I was at Detroit Country Club, the big cookie there,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
monster
or
cookies.
Yeah.
or I'm a huge sucker for special K bars.
Yeah. Well,
They'd
their
have, like-
special K
Oh.
bars were size
And it was
this
like-
table.
And they would take like a pan of special K bars and they just like quarter it.
Yeah.
So
it
here's
was
your.
so they were so good.
The ones at Holly are so good.
Yes, they are. When did you go there? You played golf there?
I used to go there a lot.
Yeah, they still have those there too.
It was like that. That was like
Yes.
the special K bar. that you get.
exactly.
Unreal.
Yep. Oh, the ones in
So
Holly.
golf courses out there, special K bars, monster cookies, apparently hot dogs.
I mean, seriously, the easiest things are
Protein
oftentimes
balls.
the best.
Yeah.
I remember, and I guess I shouldn't say just as a kid, but because I continue to do this as an adult, I think I'm an adult, but I do like those are the things that I will probably come back and talk the most about. Guys, you go to Detroit Country Club, they had the best monster cookies and special K bars, and then you would tell your friends, and that's every time you go there, you're getting a cookie, you're getting a special K bar. I don't know if we've got courses and clubs around the area that really subscribe to that.
Opportunity.
It is opportunity. Yeah. And how much does it cost to make a special K bar? Obviously more now than it did before,
I
but
don't know.
man, that sounds so good.
Mhm.
Tori, can you make us special K bars for next time? The biggest, we should have a bake off here.
Okay,
Bake off.
let's do it.
Okay. Next, seriously,
No, not next week.
not next episode,
The next show.
which is the 51st.
51st show.
Do we have to make it or?
Yeah,
No,
we have to make
No,
it.
you don't have to make it. It just can't be bought.
There you go.
Somebody has to make it. Somebody has to make it. It can't be purchased at a store.
There it is. Money can't exchange hands.
Correct.
Yep.
Wow. We will exchange hands.
Define
Bake off.
store.
Tori, you're
Define
involved.
store.
You okay with that?
Bake
Okay.
off.
Can I go to the Holly Golf and Country
Do
Club?
you promise?
My word is
I don't
so
believe you.
worth a lot.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. What are we okay on time right now? What do we got?
20, 39, 30 minutes.
Okay, so we're good. So we can talk about. Do you guys have anything else on food?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm really
Oh, I
hungry.
could
though.
talk
Let's
about
go.
food.
I know I could keep talking about food's easy. Let's talk about how do you make golf more exciting? What do you do on the golf course? What do you personally do to make golf more exciting?
Make a swing.
I
Okay,
was gonna
that's
say-
exciting.
It's
Super
dangerous.
exciting. The thrill of near-death experience.
I'm assuming you're talking about wagers or some
Wagers
game or games.
Yeah, just a side game.
we
yeah.
we did not. Unfortunately, we did not play a lot of games growing up, which is
Really?
I feel like we missed out.
And so whenever we go out and play golf, and I don't think that's totally unique because I think a lot of the younger generation right now, I don't know if they play a whole lot of side games either. We always did. We always had games going on and we continue to do so. And
And we're not condoning this. It doesn't have to be for
there
material things
I am-
necessarily.
we're
Sorry,
talking about a side
I
game.
interrupted you.
No, it's fine. We're not talking about,
Yeah.
betting per se, but
Right.
we're just talking about how do you alter the game slightly so that way there is a little bit more of a competitive atmosphere. But yeah, we always had side games going on. And I don't know, like when we have some of our staff go out and play, I like to go up to the putting green and, kind of rib them a little bit and say, okay, what's the game? What's the game? What are you guys playing for? And it's like, we're just playing golf. But I struggle to stay motivated. This is just maybe the degenerate that I am. I struggle to stay motivated if we don't have something else that we're playing for. So side games. What is your go-to if you play some side games? What's your go-to?
Gosh, we did. I
Because
mean,
you still play. You have some side games that you play now, right?
it just hasn't been
No?
really. No.
It's kind of odd. I'm not any different than Greg there. Like growing up, when we would play, I don't ever remember really doing anything like that. We just go out and play golf.
I mean,
and
growing up, I guess if we did play a game, we would play a skins game.
Okay.
And you'd have to prove it. So
Prove it.
yes. So
Par or better?
Yeah, at least. In fact, it got to a point where it wasn't even a par or better. Games evolve based on
Sure.
what happens. I think kind of towards the last summer, we were all in college, and I'm pretty sure it was birdie.
So you
So it would carry over. So of course,
That's
it got a little at times. It got a little testy.
So are you playing that handicap? So
No, I mean
for-
our game. There was probably, let's say there's 8 or 9 of us that would go play for a day.
So for our two listeners that we got on the hook right now, skins game is a game where
Yes.
you're playing, and if you have the lowest score on that hole, you earn a skin. So if there's no ties and you have the lowest score on that hole, you earn a skin, and you win whatever you're playing for, whether it be a quarter or whatever. Now the prove it part is if you must match. You must get a par or better. That's usually how I've played it.
Yes.
And now, if are you playing with strokes, handicap?
No, we never. I mean, we never did that.
Oh man.
So I mean,
So birdie or better to prove
obviously
it.
we were trying to create carryovers.
Sure.
You know.
And so all rides on
Yeah.
the last few holes.
Yeah.
they never exchange money.
Oh no, there's money money was exchanged. Pink slips.
Jesus.
I mean, there was a lot of times we'd only have 3 in our group. We played. That's just the way it worked out. So we played the 9 game.
The 9 game is such a
It's
good
very
game.
good game. Yep. Mhm.
You played 9?
I'm not.
So the 9 game. Correct me if I'm wrong. So best score on the hole gets 5. Yes. So it's based on points. So best score on the hole gets 5. The second best score on the hole gets 3.
Yep.
And then the third best score on the hole then gets 1.
Yep.
All right. If there's a tie for the second best score, then it goes 5
2-2
2. Yeah. So you just keep
or
dividing it out.
4-4-1.
Sure.
Yeah, it's such a
It's
good
a good game, and I mean, it doesn't usually get out of control. It usually ends up
Right. Because
pretty
even
good.
if you have the worst score, you're still getting a
Yeah.
point. So you're still making traction, right?
It's hole by hole, so you can have a bad 18 holes and still be okay.
Great game. What do you play out there?
Well, I think finally, like in high school, probably was maybe my first experience of maybe even going down that avenue. And that might have been playing with my dad would get together with some of his cronies, and every once in a while I'd play with those guys, and they'd usually have like five sums a lot of times they ended up playing. And so they would play like a game of captain then. And, so there, I think there's multiple different names people have probably called it, whatever, but there you would have one individual that the way they would play it, that would be the captain to begin the hole. And they would watch all four other players hit, and then they would choose their partner. So it would basically be 3 versus 2. And then you, of course, take the best ball and the low total, and those would each be worth a point. And they'd have like a lot of other side stuff too. So, I mean, they'd have everything from like what they would call flaggies. So if you made a putt longer than a flag stick, they would do like nearies or greenie, whatever you might want to call it. So the person that's on in regulation or under that's closest to the hole, they would do sandies. So if you hit it in a bunker and got up and down, they would do barkies. If
See,
you hit
I
a
need to
tree,
play in this group. This is awesome.
if you hit a tree and made a par, and you could get a double barky or a double sandy. So, I mean, there were so many points that it was almost comical. And then, of course, there was presses, which I'm sure we'll talk about too. So, I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on there. And I was just like trying to focus. And
Were you the kind where you're like, all right, you guys are keeping score. Let me know what happens at
to
the end.
begin that, I knew nothing about that. And so, yeah, but that was fun. And usually didn't play for like a whole lot of money. So no one's getting beat up too bad, but
I had a kind of a funny experience. Well, it's funny now, I guess. So when I was an assistant at Golden Valley, I was green. I was totally. I feel like I'm still green, but I was so green then. Right out of college, right out of my internships. This is my first gig as an assistant golf professional, and Golden Valley, nice club, very nice club in the cities. Kind of known for some gambling games, and they'd always play a game. Members would always play a game that was it was a 2-point game, low ball, low total, and auto 2 downs. So rush to the ending here. They were playing a quarter game. All right. And I step up to the tee, and they're saying, "Hey, got the new assistant pro here. You in for a quarter game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can play for quarters. That's fine. Absolutely. I'm in quarters, right? Even if I lose every single hole, I'm thinking the most I'm going to lose here is $10, $5, whatever it is, because I'm thinking we're playing for quarters." Right. And so I'm in the cart and I'm just having a great time, loving the golf course. Cause honestly, this is like my first time actually seeing the golf course. This is like one of my first days on the job. And I've got a member that's in the cart, and he's like looking at me and he's like, "We got to pick it up, man. We're losing it right now." And I'm like, "Well, okay, well, I'll try harder, I guess." He's like, we're this is a quarter game." I go, "Yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, we're playing for 25 cents, like, easy." It's like, "No, quarters are $25 a point." I'm going, "Oh, this just got really real." Like my paycheck, this is like all of my paycheck now. We did end up turning it on the last 2 holes, and we shortened up our losses. We did lose a decent amount though, and great member, because he knew the whole time that I had no clue what quarter game was. And he's like, "Don't worry about it. I had you covered the whole time." So he paid for the whole thing, but I was like, "Oh my God, I am never getting in. A quarter game is not a quarter game." So
Define what you're playing for if you're new to the game.
so that was the first and last time I think I've ever played a quarter
So
game.
what's you talked about earlier, Matt, what's a press?
well, so for them, they could press, and a press was automatically just basically doubled that bet. So if you were playing for a true quarter and on that hole, now it's worth 50 cents as far as what that would do. And then there would be some times where you'd get, so if you, the way they would work it is you couldn't press until you were down. And if you got down, then you could press. And, so it's like playing with these guys is always kind of like annoying, because it's like you kind of look at it and you go, wait a minute. So now I'm playing really, really good through X number of holes. And now all of a sudden you can do these presses and you win 2, then you like, or you double press or triple press, sometimes depending on how people are playing it. Pretty soon it's like, well, you're eventually maybe going to win 1 and they just win everything back. So it's like, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it's like the double or nothing, right?
Right.
I mean,
right.
Yeah, it eventually gets to the point where you just keep pressing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can only press when you're down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Now,
we were joking like off air though. I said, I know there's some people that just love they I'm not saying you fall in this criteria, but they honestly could not play golf unless they're gambling. Something's
Yes.
got to be on the line constantly. It's the only way they can play golf. It's like otherwise they'd rather just be at home, changing out their shoe trees or something. And so they and so they're like, I think they purposely get down immediately on the first hole. It's like I'm gonna make bogey regardless or whatever I need to make to get down so that I can press immediately.
which I think was an ingenious like I think that strategy was so when you texted that, like
Yeah.
blow the first hole so you can press right away. That's so
I'm like, why
smart.
did you just negotiate the deal before you got going and just say, why don't we just rather than play for a quarter, play for 50 cents? It's
So
like,
do
but-
both. Negotiate a higher wage and then blow the first hole. That's fantastic.
Oh, too funny.
That is fantastic.
The one thing I don't see like around here, maybe no, I do a little bit, but not from the people I would think so, is why people don't play more different formats.
Right.
I mean, you
Mhm.
might play like, I mean, we see some of the same groups play once, twice, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, and they play the same game. And whether they gamble or not, they play their own ball, just going out there. And it's like, and I think we may have talked about this in a previous show, and you'd probably know more about this, Chris, being over there doing an internship over like in Europe, is, they play a little bit of foursomes, correct?
yeah.
So alternate
Lot.
shot, we hear about that. So basically, if Chris and Greg were partners, Greg may start on the first hole hitting the tee shot, you'd hit the second shot, Greg would hit the third, etc. Or even playing something what we refer to as like a scramble, like a 2-person scramble, just changing up the game or doing something different.
Yeah, a lot of times if you're playing like 36, you might play a best ball in the morning and then you play foursomes in the afternoon. Foursomes is a really fun, that alt shot's a really fun way to play, and it's fast. Like that's the other thing that's I think misconstrued is that like, oh, it's such a tough format to play, and it does, not being able to hit but if you're playing with people of the likability, it's a really fast and fun way to play golf, to get into that. But I don't see anyone, coming out to the golf course and paying a green fee and going to play alt shot. That's just not going to happen.
We see a lot of scrambles now.
I do too. Yeah.
4 people come out and they'll play a 2-person scramble. I think that's kind of a younger, generation. They don't have to worry about a score for their own ball. They're playing lots of scrambles.
Another one that I think it's kind of fun. And these are like type of deals that people do in a tournament, but they'll never do it like just on their own daily basis, excluding like those groups you're talking about, the scramble. But even you guys, I think it started and we had ran events about a year or 2 later after that, and we continue to do it, is that Chapman event. And we do
Love
it just
Chapman.
Yeah, and we kind of do it where, so once again, if no one knows what the Chapman is, it'd be like, you two are partners once again, you both hit your tee balls. And then when you go up to the second shot, you're going to hit each other's second shot. And then now you're going to end up selecting the way we play it. You select the best second shot between you two, and then you alternate the rest of the way on in, which once again, I think is kind of exciting. And why maybe those same groups like, man, we should do that someday, because then you are hitting a few more shots, not quite like alternate shot, probably going to not be quite as fast. But I think when you talk about adding some excitement into the game and something different, I think those are kind of things. It's like, man, we should do a Chapman today.
I like the Chapman. It's a friendlier alt shot, right? Because it's almost like a scramble. You're hitting, it's almost like a scramble off the tee, and then you get into a position where hopefully one of you can hit a ball onto the green, or if you're par 3, obviously you're hopefully you're putting at that point. But yeah, it's just a friendlier way of playing an alt shot, because it is absolutely brutal when you have somebody that can't get off the tee, and you're always, in a difficult situation where you're punching out and doing all sorts of stuff. So that's, I like the Chapman. I think that's a cool way to play. Any other fun formats, you guys?
We growing up, if we did play, we always had a re-roll game.
See, there you go.
So we didn't do it a lot, but we did have that where your partners and the other team hits and they're not very good, so you roll it, which doubles the bet, and then you proceed to hit 2 bad shots and they re-roll you, which doubles it from there. So it gets a little exciting sometimes.
So I think we just figured something out here. So we've got the employee golf outing coming up here. And we've already figured out that our Tori Benders needs monetary compensation. She needs some type of
It doesn't. It
incentive.
well, I mean, we have tried
Yeah.
to
Tor-
monetize it, and it hasn't worked. We've
Tori,
tried the promises.
Do you
That
have
hasn't worked.
does she have a team? Do you have a team? Or does marketing have a team for the employee golf outing
Yeah, I think so.
at Osgood, September 18th?
Who are you playing
Okay.
with?
Kylie, Cassie, and Kelly.
See, we might have to have a side game here.
What if we?
Does the thought of maybe having a side game, does that make it any, would you be maybe motivated to practice at that point?
Yeah.
Okay. I think
I don't believe it.
we'll have to figure this one out. I like the idea of that. Anything else, guys?
You ever seen? I don't know if this is usually something they just do to begin the game for that day, but as far as partners based off of where your tee ball goes on your opening tee shot,
Oh, yes.
do people play that as far as throughout that way? I was always wondering about that. Like, so in other words, if you got to force some, all right, partners are going to be the two furthest left are together. and
Yes.
the two furthest right are together.
So I don't know, I shouldn't. So,
What's that?
okay, team left, team right. Okay. So we played a game of,
No, not politically. Where your tee shot ends
this is
up.
so good. Yeah.
Where's the donkeys? Where's the elephants? Okay.
We played an awesome game of Vegas. You guys played Vegas?
Nope.
Oh, Vegas is such a good format. So you got 4 people, and Greg and I, we're on a team. Matt and Tori, you're on a team. We on the first hole, Greg and I, we'll say it's a par 4. We go 4-5. All right. You guys go 5-6. So our score is 45. Your score is 56. All right. So we just scooped 11 points. Now, let's say that first hole was actually a par 5 and we got a 4 and a 5. We get to flip the order of your score. So birdie flips the other team. So you guys go 65. So we go 45, you guys go 65. So it's really, really fun that's how the point system works. Now, we did it with team right, team left. So you don't have a partner the whole way around. It's the farthest left balls versus the farthest right balls. So it is hilarious when the first guy off the tee yanks it left OB. And then everyone's going, we are bombing it so far right because we don't want to be on team left. It is so much fun. Team left, team right on a Vegas is so fun.
That's good stuff. Oh, those are always kind of fun games. Spicing up
So
the
fun.
afternoon.
I think we have our first game at Bandon.
Team
That's
left,
too
team right.
funny. Team left, team right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, well, hey, we do have to hint at fargogolf.net.
Yes.
And we also have to talk about fall passes.
Yes.
I forgot. I'm bad at that. Okay. So first off, fargogolf.net. If you haven't done so already, you can check out if you are this far into this podcast, hopefully, you can check out fargogolf.net. You can check out all the 5 public golf courses. And you can also see our past prices on, the new past prices on right now. I was trying to find that. Did you guys check?
I don't know if they're on there.
I think they'll be on first.
Okay. But big time. I've already had people call the golf shop about
Yes.
fall passes. So this is going to be really hot. If you guys don't know already, we have fall passes going on sale. Is that me? Yeah, it's a little crackly.
When you said big sale, there was the fireworks in the background. Big sale.
All passes are going to be going on sale, and they're going to be heavily discounted. So if you don't have a pass yet, September 1 is a good time to head on over to fargogolf.net and check out those fall passes. So yeah, there's still a lot of time to go play golf, and the golf courses are in excellent shape. So you're going to want to check that out. What else do we have to hint at? Anything else? Was that all of it?
No show next week.
Oh, yeah.
So 2 weeks.
So we got
It's like a fall premiere.
we got bake sale. In 2 weeks, we
That's
got bake
right.
sale.
Yep.
All right. And we're going to figure out our audio by that time, too. It's the ghost of RDJ. So I still hear that crackling. Okay. Anyways, anything else you guys want to add before we get the big heave? All right. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, subscribe, like. We got to go. We got to go right now. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace out.